Hi, my name is Darren Joseph from HJ.tax, and we're the team that seeks to demystify that sometimes confusing world of international tax. And today we have the honor and privilege of having another conversation with Leonardo. Leonardo, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, Darren, thank you very much for having me. I'd like to start by saying hello to everyone that is watching. My name is Leonardo Marques Sanchez. Just call me Leo, it's easier. I'm a tax lawyer, a tax partner in a law firm in Portugal, also a tax law professor at the Portuguese Catholic University. My main areas of focus at this point are national, domestic, and international issues pertaining to individuals. So I think that's a little bit of what we are going to discuss today, right?
All right, fantastic. So let's look at the old NHR and the new NHR. So NHR original and NHR 2.0. What if I qualified when whatever the paperwork was? I did qualify for the new one or even the original one, but I failed to submit the paperwork on time. There was some sort of delay. Is there anything that can be done so one can still benefit from the old one, or well, the new one is current, but I guess mainly the old one?
So I think I have good news in that respect because there, as you may imagine, there were hundreds, if not thousands, of cases where
Hmm.
people just forgot to apply, they didn't
Hmm.
apply properly, or they were refused by the tax authorities for some reason
Hmm.
and were no longer able to benefit from the regime. So let's start with the easier news. The NHR 2.0 will not
Hmm.
preclude your right to apply if you fail to apply within the deadline set by the law. So you
Okay.
have 10 years to benefit from the regime as of the moment you become a tax resident in Portugal. If you
Hmm.
fail to apply in in the first year, you'll still be able to apply the regime for the 9 years that you have ahead. So you will forfeit
Right.
one of the years, but
Hmm.
you don't lose the opportunity to benefit from the regime.
Okay.
Because in respect of the NHR original, tax authorities defended that either you would apply within the deadline or you would lose it forever.
Hmm.
And bear in mind, it's a 10-year regime. So even if you arrived to Portugal 2 or 3 years ago and for some reason you failed to apply, you forgot, you didn't know, there is still a possibility that we can rectify that. We have had good litigation outcomes that allowed us to apply basically following the
Okay.
same reason. You would lose the first years while
Right.
you didn't apply, or but you will still benefit from the future. There is a specific case of Portuguese nationals that has been creating a lot of litigation. If you allow me just to jump into that point, even if you didn't ask,
Yeah.
because Portuguese, we have a lot of immigrants, second generation. They are still Portuguese. They have a Portuguese citizen card, as we call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happens? The citizen card has a term, so they have to renew the citizen card
Mhm.
from time to time. What they do is sometimes they seize the opportunity when they are on vacation, on holidays in Portugal. So they come to Portugal and say, well, I will renew my citizen card at that point. And for some reason, either they are informed that they should do it. I'm not exactly sure why, but in many cases, they tend to point to a residence in Portugal. Let's say, well,
Mhm.
my residence is at my grandmother's house
Yeah.
in Oporto. What happens is that for Portuguese residents, the citizen card, which is the national registry for citizens,
Mhm.
will report the tax residency automatically to the tax
Mm.
authorities. So right there and then you became
Mhm.
a tax resident in Portugal. So what has
Right.
happened a lot is that people were living in Portugal, outside of Portugal for a long time.
Yep.
Immigrants or even people that those cases where you go to study abroad and stay there and work for
Yep.
10 or 15 years. Obviously, you were outside of the country for a long time,
Yep.
enough time to qualify for the regime. You come back, your
Mhm.
request is not accepted because they have a record of you being a tax resident
Mhm.
because of that renewal of the citizen card. So we have had a lot of litigation surrounding that. We also
Mhm.
have good news in that respect because we are generally able to demonstrate residency abroad. And erase the effects of the Portuguese tax residency, and which then will allow us to apply properly or respond to the refusal of the NHR. So I guess we will still have some years ahead to apply. I guess the NHR is such a big benefit that even if you just have 1 year left out of your 10, maybe it is still worth litigating a little bit to seize from the benefits for the rest of the 10-year period. So we have had a lot of experience with that, unfortunately, over the last years.
Thank you very much for that. Leo, if people wanted to get in touch with you, to hire yourself, to hire your team, what's the best way to find you?
I think I can be easily found on Google. So just Google my name, Leonardo Marques dos Santos, and I think the law firm, Miranda's law firm website will immediately pop up with my email addresses. That will be easier. I'm easy to find.
All right, fantastic. Thank you.